So for the past 20 years, Nicaragua has been the apple of the surf world's eye, especially when it comes to Central America. But there are some things you need to know if you're planning a surf trip to Nicaragua. One of the biggest things that you need to ask yourself if you're planning a surf trip to Nicaragua in 2025 is if you want to go to the north or to the south. Because they're practically two different countries. In this video, I'm going to explain why. The north and south of Nicaragua are completely different climates. What makes Nicaragua so good for surfing is the consistent wind that blows offshore all day, every day, supposedly. But in this video, we're going to kind of expose the reality of that situation. It's not what all the surf media and surf resorts have made it out to be, and I'm going to explain why. The biggest consideration that you need to make if you're choosing between North or South Nicaragua for a surf trip is the climate. North Nicaragua is so hot compared to Southern Nicaragua. We have just spent the last month in Northern Nicaragua, and I will attest to the fact that the heat index on average can be 20 to 25 degrees hotter on any given day. And more importantly, in Northern Nicaragua, the humidity is much higher. This is part of what contributes to the heat index. Honestly, up there, it reminds me more of El Salvador than Nicaragua, at least what I know of Nicaragua. Obviously, it's still Nicaragua. But in the north, the heat indexes regularly reach 115 degrees, and it takes till after midnight to cool off. And so, if you're in North Nicaragua and you surf all day in the 115 degree heat and the 90 degree water, when you try to come home and rest at night, if you don't have air conditioning, you're going to have a hard time recovering. In the short term, it's not that big of a deal if you're going for a couple days or even a week. But if you're planning on spending some time there, like weeks or a month, it's going to cause you some long-term problems. You're going to have to supplement with coconuts, electrolytes. You're going to be chronically hungry. It's going to be hard on your body. You're going to be tired all the time. I'm telling you from experience. I've been traveling Nicaragua for about 3 months a year now for almost 20 years. And I've almost never had AC here. Because in the south, you don't need it. You feel that breeze? It's 7 o'clock in the morning, and there's already a stiff offshore breeze here in southern Nicaragua. Whereas in the north, sometimes it takes till 10 a.m. for the offshore breeze to really blow, and then it really only blows for like 1 to 3 hours, and then it goes onshore. So all that perfect, pristine Nicaraguan perfection that you're used to seeing on Instagram and social media, YouTube, in northern Nicaragua, it's not the same. Now, in contrast, here in southern Nicaragua, the wind pretty much stays offshore all day, every day, about 330 plus days a year, sometimes even more. And it's super reliable. And that means if you're at a spot where you have to surf high tide, even if high tide is not until 2 o'clock in the afternoon, like today, you could just wait to surf until the tide is where you want to surf it, because in all likelihood, it's still going to be offshore when the tide comes in. What this really means is in northern Nicaragua, you're going to get skunked a lot more, and you're going to be dehydrated a lot more because of the climate. So before you plan your next trip to Nicaragua, you really need to consider how you want to do it, where you want to do it, and why you want to do it. Because I will be honest with you, the north of Nicaragua is way less crowded than here in the south. But there's a reason for that.